Unity Station 7 rotated with the calm inevitability of a machine that had survived 3 wars and 2 economic collapses. Its outer hull shimmered under distant starlight, a monument to cooperation stitched together by treaties, compromises, and the occasional silent threat. Inside, Patrol Cadet Threx of the Cathar tried very hard not to look like he was sweating. He was 16 cycles old, young by Cathar standards, barely out of combat schooling, and tonight was his first official patrol shift. His armor was polished obsidian black, his clan sigil etched in faint crimson across his shoulder plate. His tail twitched with restrained energy. His ears pivoted constantly, mapping sound. The patrol assignment glowing on his wrist display felt insulting. Sector Amphitheater Ring C. Event Cultural Exchange Earth Cinema Night. Risk level minimal. Minimal. He had trained on Obsidian Peak under instructors who measured worth in scars. He had stalked through simulated magma vents and hunted drone targets designed to mimic predators 3 times his size. And now, he was guarding humans watching a movie. The amphitheater doors parted with a soft hydraulic sigh. Warm light spilled into the corridor. Threx stepped inside. The chamber was tiered in semicircles, filled with beings of at least 9 species. The air hummed with conversation. The enormous projection screen at the front displayed a static image, a human male climbing a cliff while holding a rope. A banner floated above the screen in cheerful hollow script. Tonight, the Princess Bride Earth, 1987. Threx stiffened. Princess Bride. The words implied ritual combat. He took his position near the back wall, claws clasped behind him in formal stance. A few humans glanced back at him and smiled. One waved. He did not wave back. The lights dimmed. The film began. Within 5 minutes, Threx was confused. Within 10 minutes, he was alarmed. Within 15 minutes, he was experiencing what he would later identify as cultural vertigo. The movie opened not with battle, but with a sick child in bed. The Cathar cadet leaned forward slightly. Was this a prelude to revenge? Instead, a grandfather began reading a story. Threx's ears flattened. "Why is there narration?" he muttered under his breath. "Because it's a fairy tale." The voice came from his right. He turned sharply. A human woman sat 2 seats away, dark curls pulled into a loose bun, wearing a station maintenance jacket. She had warm brown eyes and the faintest smirk. "I'm Rosa," she whispered. "Your new patrol, right?" "Cadet Threx of the Cathar," he replied automatically. "Nice to meet you, Cadet Threx of the Cathar." His ears twitched at the teasing tone. On screen, a farm boy declared his love. Threx frowned. This warrior speaks only of affection. Does he intend to conquer territory through emotional destabilization? Rosa pressed a fist to her mouth to suppress a laugh. "Just watch." The film progressed. A princess was kidnapped. A trio of criminals argued about strategy. Sword fights occurred. Threx leaned forward, finally engaged. The masked swordsman dueled with elegance rather than brute force. When the line, "You keep using that word," was spoken, several humans around them chuckled knowingly. Threx glanced sideways. "Is this humor?" "Very," Rosa whispered. Later, when a giant declared, "Anybody want a peanut?" Threx's ears lifted. "There are no peanuts present," he said. "That's the joke." Threx stared at the screen. Humans found misdirection amusing. Interesting. As the film reached its climax, Threx realized something unsettling. The villain did not win. But neither did raw strength. Strategy, wit, endurance, loyalty. The film ended with applause. Threx remained seated. "That was not dishonorable," he said carefully. Rosa grinned, high praise. It contained combat, but also banter. "Welcome to 80s cinema." He turned to her. Is this Earth's dominant war archive? She laughed outright this time. Oh no, that was just the warm-up. The following week, Threx volunteered for amphitheater patrol again. And the week after that. And the week after that. Rosa began saving him a seat. He pretended not to notice. They watched films that unsettled him in entirely new ways. In one, colonial marines faced extraterrestrial monsters in industrial corridors. Threx approved of the disciplined formation tactics, but questioned the human habit of investigating ominous noises alone. In another, a cybernetic assassin pursued a woman through time. Why does it walk toward gunfire? Threx whispered. Because it doesn't feel pain, Rosa replied. That is inefficient. That's the point. He found himself quoting short lines under his breath afterward. When a station door malfunctioned one evening and slid open slowly, he muttered, "I'll be back," in what he believed was a convincing monotone. Rosa nearly fell over laughing. They watched a group of teenagers discovering identity in detention. Threx frowned at first. No combat, no tactical scenario. Keep watching. By the end, he sat quietly. They are choosing who they are, he said. Exactly. They watched cadets outsmarting authority, ghosts being captured with proton devices, time-traveling teenagers correcting temporal paradoxes, warriors learning discipline from quiet mentors. Each film layered something new into him. He began referencing them unconsciously. When Rosa dropped a wrench in her quarters, he caught it midair and said solemnly, "Wax on, wax off." That's not even the right context, she said. It felt appropriate. He began to smile more. Cathar were not known for smiling. 3 months after his first patrol, Unity Station 7 experienced its first coordinated breach in 8 years. It began with the environmental alarms. Threx was in the lower promenade with Rosa, debating whether airplane humor qualified as tactical psychological warfare when the lights flickered. Then died. Emergency crimson flooded the corridor. His patrol instincts snapped into place instantly. "Stay behind me," he ordered. A pulse detonated somewhere in the central hub. The station shuddered. His comlink crackled. All patrol units, hostile boarding confirmed. Sector lockdown compromised. Repeat compromised. Threx's blood surged. Finally, battle. But this was not simulation. Rosa's face had gone pale. "Who?" she asked. "Unknown," Threx replied, his claws extended with a faint metallic hiss. "Return to your quarters." "Are you kidding?" she snapped. "I'm a station engineer." A second explosion boomed. Screens across the corridor flickered to life. Masked figures in tactical armor filled the frame, multi-species mercenaries, armed, coordinated. One stepped forward. "Attention, Unity Station 7, the leader said smoothly. "We now control your primary reactor core and docking ring. Cooperate, and your structural integrity remains intact." Threx's ears flattened. This was not random. This was takeover. Rosa inhaled sharply. This is literally Die Hard. Threx blinked. There is no tower. It's the vibe. He stared at the screen. The leader adjusted his gloves. Threx's mind, trained for battlefield analysis, and saturated with months of Earth cinema, made an unexpected connection. "They are overconfident," he murmured. "Like corporate antagonists with fragile egos." Rosa's eyes widened. "Oh my God." The comm line buzzed again. "All cadets hold defensive positions." Threx hesitated, then made a decision. "We do not hold," he said. "We do." "No." He turned to Rosa. "We improvise." The takeover was efficient. Mercenaries secured central systems. Hostages were gathered in the amphitheater. Threx moved through ventilation shafts. "Full circle," Rosa whispered. He glanced back at her. "This is unorthodox. You're the one who said improvisation was inefficient." He paused. "Humans win through unpredictability." She grinned despite the fear in her eyes. "That's the spirit." They reached a junction overlooking the reactor corridor. 4 mercenaries guarded the entrance. He assessed silently. Direct assault possible, casualties high. Rosa leaned closer. "Remember the air ducts." He stared at her. "You are suggesting." "Yippee-ki." "Do not finish that sentence." She clamped her mouth shut. Threx adjusted his armor's thermal dampeners. He dropped silently behind the rearmost guard. The strike was swift and controlled. Rosa winced. That was less comedy, more R-rating. "Efficiency," he said calmly. They dragged the unconscious mercenary aside. Rosa crouched over the access panel. "I can loop their comms for 3 minutes. 3 is sufficient." They slipped inside. The reactor chamber was vast and pulsing with contained starfire. The mercenary leader stood near the core console. "You think you can stop us," the leader said without turning. Threx's ears flicked. "Hell, you're not the first rookie who thought crawling through vents was clever." Rosa muttered, "Okay, that's annoying." The leader turned. His species was unknown, tall, silver-eyed, calm. "You're young," he observed. Threx lifted his chin. "Yes. And you think you are the hero." Threx hesitated. "Hero?" The word was human. But Rosa stepped forward. "No," she said lightly, "he's the sequel." The leader's lip twitched. "Adorable." The firefight that followed was brutal. Blaster bolts scorched metal. The reactor hummed dangerously. Threx fought with trained ferocity, but something had shifted. He did not charge blindly. He used the environment. He lured one mercenary under an unstable conduit and kicked it loose at the perfect moment. He baited another into monologuing. Rosa actually whispered, "Let him talk," and used the distraction to disarm him. The leader advanced steadily. "You cannot win," he said. Threx remembered a farm boy climbing a cliff. Remembered Marines standing together. Remembered a quiet mentor teaching balance. Remembered teenagers choosing identity. He exhaled. "You are overconfident." The leader sneered. "Inconceivable." Threx's eyes flashed. He lunged. The fight was close, brutal, personal. At one point, Threx was slammed against the reactor railing, claws scraping for purchase. The leader pressed a blade to his throat. "You are just a cub." Threx's tail coiled. "Yes," he said. "And I found something better than battle." The leader frowned. Threx twisted, hooked his leg behind the leader's knee, something Rosa had once described as "sweep the leg," and reversed the position. Security forces burst in seconds later. The leader was restrained. The reactor stabilized. Silence fell. Threx stood breathing hard. Rosa stepped beside him. "You okay?" He nodded slowly. "I did not win through strength." "Nope." He looked at his claws. "I won through storytelling logic." She laughed, half hysterical from adrenaline. "You weaponized 80s cinema." He considered that. "Yes." Security escorted the mercenaries away. The station lights returned gradually. In the aftermath, command debriefed him. "You deviated from protocol," his superior growled. "Yes." "You left assigned post." "Yes." "You utilized theatrical misdirection." He hesitated. "Yes." A long pause. Effective. Threx blinked. Continue patrol. Weeks later, amphitheater movie night resumed. The banner read, "Back to the future." Threx took his usual seat beside Rosa. "Time travel is strategically unstable," he said solemnly. "Relax." The lights dimmed. As the DeLorean accelerated on screen, Threx leaned back. "I have determined something," he said quietly. "What's that?" He glanced at her. "Battle proves strength." And he watched the screen glow. "But stories teach survival." Rosa smiled. "That might be the most human thing you've ever said." He tilted his head. "Do not repeat that." She laughed. On screen, lightning struck. In the quiet amphitheater of Unity Station 7, a teenage Cathar cub sat beside a human engineer, absorbing flickering images from a planet light years away. He still trained, still patrolled, still sharpened his claws. But now, when doors opened slowly, he sometimes whispered, "I'll be back." When faced with impossible odds, he muttered, "Inconceivable." When Rosa teased him, he replied, "As you wish." And somewhere between battle drills and movie nights, Threx of the Cathar realized something profound. He had not abandoned his warrior path. He had expanded it. Because courage was not only found in combat. Sometimes, it was found in a dark room full of strangers laughing together at a story. And for a cub still finding his place in the galaxy, that discovery was greater than any victory.